Hey, all you comic book readers and true believers, it's Tuesday, and your friendly neighborhood comic book guy, Mitch Harmon. You guys know what's up, Mitch's Picks. From Marvel Comics, Spider-Man, Far From Home Prelude, #1. Written by Will Corona Pilgrim, art done by Luca Maresca. This is a two-part miniseries coming out of Marvel Comics. This is a prelude to the movie Far From Home, but basically this is just kind of a condensed version of Homecoming as well. But there are some new things kind of peppered in there that you may not have seen in the movie or that wasn't touched on in the movie that they're going to be expanding upon in this. Like I said, only 2 issues, so if you guys are not looking to try to get into a new series but not really go too deep into it, this is definitely one for you guys. Plus, anybody that's a Spider-Man fan, I highly recommend it. Check it out. From Archie Comics, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, #1. Written by Kelly Thompson, art done by Veronica and Andy Fish. This is a new series coming out of Archie Comics. This story is basically Sabrina's kind of the beginning of her story, I should say. She's starting school, but she was, I think, prior to this in a different realm. I'm not too familiar with the Sabrina lore and whatnot, so I don't know if this is a continuation of something or just kind of jutting you into the story for Sabrina. But she is starting a new school this day, learning about all the mortals' history and whatnot. Along the way, making a couple new friends, maybe even some new crushes along the way as well. But this is a new series going on from Archie Comics. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I guess it depends on the popularity. But Andy and Veronica Fish did the art in this, and they got some pretty good art styles, guys. Plus Kelly Thompson, she did Silk and a bunch of other things for Marvel as well, so it's definitely worth a read, guys. Check it out. From Marvel Comics, Marvel Rising, #1. Written by Nala Magruder, art done by Roberto Di Salvo. This is a new ongoing series from Marvel Comics. If you guys remember last year, there was a series called Marvel Rising, which was just a series of one-shots that kind of had a ongoing story laid out in between them all. This does kind of take place after the events of that, but this story more so revolves around Kamala Khan, Miles Morales, Dante something, his hero name's Inferno, and then Squirrel Girl. They're basically applying for college and going through a campus tour, only to be interrupted by ancient knight possessed cars. Go figure. Also, there's a little bit of a snippet in the back with Morgan Le Fay. If you guys don't know her from just ancient lore, she's like one of the world's most powerful sorceresses ever. So, but this is a new series coming out of Marvel Comics. Never really heard of the writer or the artist, but I like the interior art, and the story is pretty good so far. But if you just even like the old Marvel Rising from last year, I highly recommend picking this up to continue on the story, guys. Check it out. From DC Comics, Detective Comics 1000. Written by Scott Snyder, Jeff Johns, Denny O'Neil, Paul Dini, Kevin Smith. Art done by just as many: Jim Lee, Steve Epting, Greg Capullo, Neil Adams, the list goes on and on. This has, I believe, 6 or 7 stories, all kind of just a bunch of different stories. Some of it takes place modern day time, some of it's like his first day on the job, all these different types of stories. But the real thing you want to pull away from this, not only is it just full of all this beautiful art and whatnot, but the real thing you want to pull away from this is the possible introduction of a new character that's already been in a video game, Arkham Knight. I'm not really sure if it's going to be the same from the video game, same person, but at the end of this issue, and it even says continuing into issue 1001, will be the story of the Arkham Knight. Not really sure who that's going to be, though. But even if you're not interested in any of this stuff, this is a milestone issue, guys. It's 1,000 comics of Detective Comics. Almost, it's like close to 80-something years of Batman. I mean, it's insane. There's so much that goes into it. It's 96 pages, so it's a little heftier than most. It's $9.99, but we did get all 12 covers in, so you get to take your pick or just take one of each, guys. That's it's a lot of Batman to be soaking in, but I highly, highly recommend anybody who's even remotely of a fan of Batman or DC to pick this up, because like I said, it's a big one, guys. Milestone issue. Check it out. From DC Comics, Mara, Tidebreaker, graphic novel, written by Daniel Page, art done by Stephen Byrne. This is a new original graphic novel coming out of the new line DC Inc. No comics were ever made of this. This is all there is to it, and is the origin of one of the most probably the most badass underwater woman in existence. This is the origin of Mera, how she kind of started out as a villain, worked her way into being more heroic, and then eventually the Queen of Atlantis. Actually, I don't think it actually ends with her being the Queen of Atlantis, but it's definitely her origin story and getting started on it. I've not read anything by Daniel Page, but I have seen Steve Burns' art, and it is wonderful. It has a very cool, like almost like DC animation style to it. I'm sorry, Disney animation style to it. Plus, it's all self-contained. You don't need anything else before or after it. Who knows, if it does well, they might do a second graphic novel. But this is the first, and we've got some copies, guys, so come by. And you definitely don't want to miss this one, so check it out. Don't forget, this Friday, we're going to be doing a screening of the My Hero 2 Heroes movie starting around 9 o'clock. We will have drinks and popcorn for purchase in the back. Free to come in if you guys want to just show up a little bit before 9 or at 9. We'll be letting people back there. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. We're going to maybe try to make it a more of a routine thing too, having a new movie, anime movie, whatever, kind of being shown back there on Friday nights or whatever. But definitely want to be here for the first one, guys. So definitely come by, check it out. That's all my picks for this week, everyone. Keep reading your comics, true believers. See you guys next week.